things don't belong in our streets, and we can do better, and these kids are holding us accountable.
The young people who are out there in the streets today, they are not going to settle for the same old, same old. They want change, and they have the energy.
They're teaching us. I'm not giving them a message. They're giving us a message.
I'm joined now by Jason Johnson, politics editor at TheRoot.com, and Julian Epstein, who's worked for Democrats in the Congress, and that's where I want to start. There was a time when Democrats were for actual big gun control. Then it narrowed to Democrats talking about little measures, you know, background checks and bump stocks. With today's march, we seem to be hearing more about going back to an assault weapons ban and bigger arguments. What do you think?
I think that's right. You know, in 1998, I remember sitting with President Clinton in the Oval Office after Columbine. And Clinton said, I could go to New Hampshire in the middle of hunting season, and I could persuade most of the hunters that we need more gun laws in this country. Why can't I persuade voters? Similarly, after Sandy Hook, sitting in the Roosevelt room with President Obama expressing the same frustration. The reason was because while most voters support common sense gun reform, they don't vote on it. And I think what was happening today is that millennials and Generation Zers are saying, we are going to vote on this, and we are laser focused. Guns are doing much more harm than they are doing good. Democrats, to your question, I think have often walked the walk. Many of them didn't talk. They talked the talk. They didn't walk the walk. Remember in '98 after Columbine, we were trying to get some major reforms passed. Even leadership were talking the talk, not walking the walk. I think once Democrats and Republicans, anybody on the dole of the NRA, anyone taking this kind of blood money from the NRA starts to see that their seat may be at risk, and I think that's what the change is today, then I think you're going to see major change. And I think the conversation is going to move on from assault weapons and background checks. Things are important, but they're not going to solve the problem of 90 deaths a day, the equivalent of a jumbo jet airliner going down every few days in this country. They're not going to solve that problem until we do more serious reforms, and I think everybody's got kind of the telegram on this one.
I'm amazed by the level of message discipline that we saw. We didn't see people going off in different directions. And if this movement can maintain that message discipline all the way into the fall, over summer break and internships, if these kids maintain this passion this fall, if an A+ NRA rating ends up becoming a scarlet letter when you're running this fall, that's going to end up making a difference. And I've always thought politically, one of the reasons that this managed to resonate, honestly, Ari, is because it started in Florida. It started in a swing state. I think if this was a blue state, you wouldn't necessarily see this much concern or attention being paid by politicians.
Right, which may be an apt political observation and is also messed up.
Yes, unfortunately, that's the kind of concern and calculus that you're seeing from people. But again, if they stay with this, I think we're going to end up seeing change.
Most interestingly, the three most important words that were spoken today was vote them out.
Yes.
Vote them out. If you are doing the bidding of the NRA and all the double talking of the NRA, they will vote you out. And a number of students were interviewed on this network today, and they were asked about these very minor changes that were in the spending bill that was passed in Congress yesterday. They said, well, what about that? We got some more guard. We got the bump stocks maybe enacted now, and we got more guards at the schools. And to a T, all those students were saying, we're not going to be bought off with these silly, political cover, meaningless gestures from these politicians. We want real reform.
Yeah.
So again, I think we're going to start to see things, the discussion going past assault weapons, going around background checks, and to much more serious reform like we have in a lot of other countries.
And I got to fit in a break, and this has been a pretty serious day. On a lighter note, it's always nice to see you guys out in your natural habitat. I learned that Julian is a very fashionable dad look here. And Jason, I didn't know that you had a little bit of a Steve Bannon thing going on. Count the layers.
Yes, multiple layers.
I got a
not
one,
quite as rumpled as Bannon.
3.
But I got several.
Yeah.
I wanted to wear my baseball cap, but my girlfriend talked me out of it.
You were talked out of that, because they say with Steve Bannon, if he goes to the casino and he loses his shirt,
right,
he's fine, because he's got five more shirts.
Exactly.
Yeah. My special thanks to our political panel, rounding us out, Jason Johnson and Julian Epstein. We'll be right back.